What's up, everybody? We're back now for episode number 22, and tomorrow is the official start to the 2021-2022 NBA season, the NBA's 75th anniversary. How hyped are y'all for the start of the season, bro?
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped. I get to see Chuck and Shaq on TNT tomorrow. Go
Yeah.
at it. I'm always happy to see that, but
You
I
made
don't know
a
about Blake.
today,
What
didn't
about
you?
you? Yeah, I made a post.
I'm ready. It's going from like basketball almost every day, like two or 3 months ago now. It's just I'm ready to get that normalcy back in.
Yeah, because we're back to 82 games now, right? Like last year we were at 72, and we're back to that 482. And it seems like the last, you say 3 seasons now, it's been like the time in between the seasons has been like super, super short. You know what I mean? It almost seems like these guys like haven't gotten a bunch of rest in between, and even like this year has been free agency. Like there's been so much free agency in the news and all of that, especially with Ben Simmons, or early on it was Damian Lillard. The NBA never sleeps, and that's great for us. It gives us more stuff to talk about. So I'm hyped for it all. I'm hyped for the first couple of games. I'm hyped for that Nets Bucks game. So we'll see what happens with it all. Obviously though, before opening night, there were a bunch of extensions that happened. And just yesterday, Mikal Bridges from the Phoenix Suns ends up getting $90 million over, what was it, 4 years? Was it $90 million over 4 years?
Yeah, 22 and a half.
Yeah. And I think it kicks in the 2022-23 season, actually. Carl, was Mike, I think the first question people always ask when it comes to these contract extensions is a guy worth that money? So is Mikal Bridges worth that 22.5 million that Phoenix broke the bank for him for?
Yeah, I think he's worth it because you have to ask yourself, for a player at that position that like plays like that plays defense that well and can knock down shots like he can, because he has a talent to average. Would you all say he has a talent to average like 12 to 15 points?
Yeah, without a doubt.
He has the talent to probably average 15 points. He just probably doesn't because of the opportunities he get on that team.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he definitely is worth that money, because 3-and-D players at this point in time, there aren't like a ton of them, but he's definitely at the top.
Yeah,
probably top 3.
Yeah,
you say top 3.
He's definitely a top 3-and-D player in this league. And as you mentioned, that's like one of the most coveted things right now. I mean, think about the draft too. Like they're always looking at dudes who are going to play defense, who can stretch the floor and knock down shots. This draft, it was Chris Duarte, your guy. Then it was Moses Moody. There are a couple other names, but it's always about dudes who can knock down shots and get on the other end and play defense. I think I mentioned this yesterday to y'all. Phoenix has like probably the best like combo of 3-and-D players. There's Landry Shamet, there's Cam Johnson, there's Jay Crowder, there's Mikal Bridges, obviously. So, but yeah, I agree. It was great to lock him in. Blake, what were your thoughts on the extension for him?
I think they did good getting him locked in, just based off of his upside. He's only going to get better. He's only like 24 right now, so he's going to keep developing on that offensive side of the game. I think he has that potential to be a all defensive first team. Maybe he was picking up some tough assignments during the playoffs, and he was doing pretty well, holding his own. So I think that he can really get to that point. Just keep working and developing. So the sky's the limit.
Yeah. Without a doubt. And you talk about his upside, like he's a dude. I mean, even during the preseason, we saw some shot creation from him too, like coming off the dribble, getting in pick and roll scenarios. His upside, I mean, this may sound crazy. I don't know how y'all feel about it. Let me know if I'm taking it too far, but I think his upside is like a Chris Middleton type of player. I think, the shot creation is still something we didn't see it at Villanova. We didn't see it his first couple of seasons, but we're seeing little glimpses of it, now and then. So I think he can probably pick that up. And if Phoenix gives him that opportunity to do it this season, we can see that dimension added to his game. He definitely has the talent to. He's with a lot of 3-and-D players. You always say, or you always see them. You don't really get to see their full skill set. Like I think Cam Reddish. I feel like Cam Reddish is the same way. Like when he was at Duke, we didn't see the full best version of Cam Reddish because they kind of just had him sitting in the corner the entire time. Rightfully so. When you look at who they had, like they had R.J. Barrett and Zion Williamson. Who was the point guard for that Duke team though?
Trey Jones.
Trey Jones was point guard for that Duke team, yeah. But they kind of had Cam Reddish sitting in the corner, and same with Atlanta. But then, obviously, last year in the playoffs, in the conference finals, we saw what Cam Reddish could do as far as knocking down shots off the dribble. So maybe Bridges is kind of that same way where he has it in his bag. They just kind of have to unleash it a little bit. So I'm excited to see how he builds off of last season. He was huge for them in the finals. As Carl mentioned, he's got potential to become one of the best defenders in the NBA. As Blake said, he picked up some very, very tough assignments. Yeah. So I'm excited to see how he builds off of it this coming year.
Yeah, that boy Lanky, you mentioned he got the ability. I ain't never seen a dude at that height have like arms that long.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Because he averaged, I looked up, he averaged 13 points, 13 and a half points last year, almost 14. So he can definitely average 15.
Yeah.
So it just depends on that team like that when Devin Booker and Chris Paul having the ball a lot.
Yeah.
If he can reach that Chris Middleton status, because they're kind of similar in a way, like how Chris Middleton was like when he got drafted. They played very similar, and then he just became Chris Middleton we know now is like not the squirrel, but as a good all-star player. But if he wants to accomplish that, I don't know if it'll be with the Suns.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. I definitely agree. I don't think he can totally. And like I said, Phoenix is a great environment for him, and he can show glimpses of it, but he's never going to become. And I don't want to like forecast like too much to the future here, but he's never going to become that like. He's never going to become that Chris Middleton in Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? Now he's locked into this team. This is his home. Phoenix loves him, and rightfully so. So I'm not going to speak too far into the future on, what he's going to end up being. If he's totally unleashed. It's just not going to happen when you have Devin Booker and Chris Paul out there as your two main, offensive priorities. So, but yeah, he's going to be great. And that point that you brought up about him not being able to show off his full skill set is a point that we can apply directly to another guy in Phoenix. It was Deandre Ayton. And the news is coming out right now that they have not reached an agreement, and the deadline was actually a couple hours ago, and they haven't reached an agreement. I think he was eligible to make 172 over 5 years, which is $30 million, so it's definitely max. But clearly, they didn't agree that DeAndre Ayton obviously thought he was a max player, and the Suns don't think he's a max player. So, Blake, do you think? Is DeAndre Ayton, this is a debate I've been having all day on Snapchat, because I remember posting a couple things and people were like, there's no way I've heard two different sides of the story. Is DeAndre Ayton a max player at this point in his career?
Not yet. He has some good I can't even talk. He has some good performances in the finals, but defensively, I'd like to see him get a little bit better. They matched him up with Giannis. And you see how that went. Every time Giannis was coming into the paint, he was sitting there like this.
That's Giannis. That's Giannis, though.
I mean, still, I'd like to see some more of him. But even when I say that, I know we won't really see like him take charge of that role just because you've got Chris Paul and Booker still there. So I'd have to see a little bit more out of him, man. I just haven't seen a lot. Either offensively and defensively to really be able to give him that max like here. If he can really show, I think it's similar to that John Collins situation like last year. They didn't want to give him that max before the season started, but you see what he did during the season and during the playoffs, and he got it. So I mean, if he can do that, if he can really show up, get better offensively and defensively, really take it in a limited role that he has, take that game to another level, then maybe I would consider giving him that max. Yeah. But I would not consider, but I think I probably would. Because I see he's an integral part of their team. You can't really get somebody else and plug them in and have it work like how it works with him.
I would just say to what you said, basically, I feel like he can only do so much during that offense.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
His ceiling
he's kind of
Mm-hmm. His ceiling is on that team. Probably 18 points is the best he can do, because his talent obviously is worth $30 million.
Yeah,
because just look at him. He can shoot from the outside to be that height and be able to shoot from the outside. He has post moves. Though he did struggle with Giannis on defense, a lot of dudes struggle.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. Like he can play defense, but I just think with the situations he's in with Phoenix, with Chris Paul and Booker getting the shots, I think 18 points is the best he can do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say, like, and touches were down for him big time. Like he was 14 a game last season, but I mean, you look at his production his entire career, efficient shooting. He's been a double threat every night. And this year, what we saw from him, when Blake said defense, my response to that is defensively, he did show a lot of great things in the playoffs. Now, just look at who he was matched up against. He ended up having a matchup against Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo and who else? Anthony Davis, for a limited amount of games in that first round. So, but overall, like defensively, like this was a very good defensive team the entirety of the season and even during the playoffs, and he's a major part of that. So, I as Carl said, the skill set is definitely there. I think if you're a centerpiece for a team that's going to contend for a title for the next couple of years, to me, you kind of have to break open the max for him. That's just my opinion. You know, I kind of thought it was clear with how much I thought it was clear that he was going to get a max contract with how much people were raving about him during the playoffs. Because you remember how much people were praising, Deandre Ayton and what he was able to do throughout the playoffs. Everybody was, and he probably made the biggest play in Phoenix in a long time with that alley-oop, that inbound alley-oop.
No, he made the biggest play ever.
That probably is the biggest play ever. Is it? You think it? Yeah,
it is. They haven't. No offense to Phoenix, they haven't had much else. They ain't had much else to celebrate since about 2000 something. Diamondbacks won that championship. So
talking about baseball.
We brought it over to baseball.
Ain't too much to cheer about down in Arizona.
I mean, they had Steve Nash and them when they went to the Western Conference Finals.
They had some fun teams. They ain't
win nothing though.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you. I mean, to me, it was almost like when you look at guys in that class, and I'm going to pull up guys who ended up. Pull up some of those guys who got that major money out of that draft class. You got Luka, obviously. You got Trey. You got SGA. Yeah. Fun fact: SGA is making as much as Trey Young, which is crazy to me. SGA is making.
How much is Trey Young making again? Like what's
Trey got a super
35, 40?
Yeah, Trey's 172.5 over 5 years, which is
like 40. I think it's 40.
30, basically 35 a year. Okay. And then SGA is still around that amount, and then Michael Porter Jr. Is at that amount as well. And that's what I'm saying. So it's kind of like, I'm not saying he's worth it. I'm not saying, because if you break the bank over for that much, that's a lot. And their their front office has always been kind of not super conservative as far as like, playing with the luxury tax and all of that in the cap space. But they've shown they've been limited with how much they want to spend, if you know what I'm saying. So that's kind of
I said one thing. I don't really like how another thing. I don't really like how they handling this situation, because they just gave Landry Shamet like 40-something million too.
Yeah,
that's disrespectful.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what they're playing there, but I don't really like how they handling the situation.
You telling me I'm not worth money, but you handing out dudes 90 and 40 million like it ain't nothing.
But with that, it's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like this. I just think it's as simple as Ayton had a number of mine, they had a number of mine, and they just didn't come to that conclusion. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just what it is. When you see like one party say, it's all negotiation, and it's business at the end of the day. So I think, ultimately you had to pay Shamet, you had to get Mikal Bridges money out the way. And I think they had something in mind for Ayton. It was just something short of a max. Like I said, the question is just if you think he's a max player or not. Personally, I do. You guys probably don't think he is, but a lot of people don't think he's a max player.
I do.
You think he is? Do you think Phoenix should pay the max?
Yeah, I do, just based off his talent. It's not a lot of centers at that talent. We talking Joel, we talking Nikola Jokic. It's like a handful of centers in the league that can play like that. Yeah,
and with his role, like it's like, how can you not give a dude a max who's a part of a big three on a championship team or a championship level team?
Literally, who else you gonna give it to?
Yeah,
that's my question. Like, if he say they don't pay him at the end of the season, wherever contract, whenever it comes up, and then he just leaves, like you basically ass out at center.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess one thing down the line, I think if they're talking about on the money side of the game, Chris Paul isn't going to be there for too much longer. I give him about 3 or 4 more years. So if you don't draft somebody, you have to pay somebody to come fill that spot.
Yeah, but also too, like there's always those renegotiations, that can end up happening. I think they mentioned John Collins, like with John Collins, obviously there was kind of the quote unquote issue with Atlanta last year, and they didn't agree on the max, and then they came up now, and last summer he ended up getting paid, I think, just short of the max. So it could end up being that situation where it just ends up becoming a second negotiation at the end of the season when he shows maybe a little bit more. Maybe it could be that. We've seen that type of stuff happen all the time, but it's going to be tough for Deandre Ayton to just dip because he is restricted. Like if he ends up going to free agency, which looks like it's going to end up happening, unrestricted free agency, he's going to be it's almost super unlikely. It's likely, but it's almost unlikely that the Suns just let him go, because they're going to match anything an opposing team is going to want to give him. That's how the unrestricted free agency stuff works. So, I mean,
you said he restricted or unrestricted?
He's restricted. I mean restricted.
Okay, yeah.
I'm glad you. Yeah.
Isn't restricted kind of have like if he goes to a different team, they have to do a sign and trade? Isn't that how that works?
Basically, so The way it works, I'm glad y'all caught me on that because I said unrestricted like 5 times.
You said restricted, then unrestricted.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. Unrestricted basically is this. He can go to another team, but as soon as Phoenix matches that other team's contract offer, he's going to stay in Phoenix. So he's not like just on the market. You know what I mean? It's not the same thing. And most of the times those unrestricted or those restricted free agencies end up becoming those signing trades. We saw it happen all last summer, with like Larry Martin and those guys, So, I mean, I think it's going to be tough for him. I don't see him just leaving Phoenix. I think they're going to be fine with him in this position, but you do kind of have to look out for chemistry issues. Like that was a rumor early in the season with the Hawks when John Collins didn't get that money. So we'll see what happens, honestly. But, I think it'll end up becoming like a renegotiation type of thing. And I think they'll end up finding an amount, and that'll satisfy both parties.
Yeah, I think no doubt I feel like they're definitely going to pay him because they don't have nobody else to pay that money at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Like you're not, they're going to pay him. They're just trying to play hardball.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's as simple as here was our, for his party, here was our amount, for other party, here's our amount, and they just didn't come to it. I know I'm oversimplifying it and there's a lot more that goes into it, but I think that's just what it came down to, but they'll work something out, and I mean, he made the statement, he said it was pretty disappointing. And like I said, it's not outside of the realm of possibility that there could be some chemistry and commitment issues this season. Like when a guy sees that a team doesn't value him as much as he thinks, that could be an issue. Like we've never, he's a younger player and you're seeing other guys who were drafted below you. He was the top pick in that 2018 draft. And you're seeing other guys. Yeah. And you're seeing other guys who were drafted below you, getting paid this super max money or whatever, not super max, but this max money. And you're not. It's disappointing, especially after the run that he was able to help Phoenix make during the playoffs. I mean, that's got to piss a dude off for real, Yeah,
I don't know. I just hope they're not looking at the stats of the regular season. Oh, he dipped in points where y'all didn't give him the ball.
Yeah. That's what I've been trying to tell people all day. They're like, he averaged like 4 less points than he did the year before.
If you watched games of them, even in the playoffs when he was playing well, like he would have a 20-point game, but he would damn near shoot the ball perfectly. I'm like, get this dude the ball more. He ain't even missed a shot yet. That's that's exactly what it is. Like I said,
he was doing what he needed to do.
Exactly. And hopefully they can get him integrated a little more and help him show up his bag because his offensive bag is deep, bro. Like he's always been a dude who can play with his back to the basket. He can face up and knock down shots. In the preseason, he showed, some willingness to kind of get outside of the 3-point line and knock down shots. Or at least attempt them. I'm not going to say knock down, but at least put them up. I don't know how confident I am in him doing it.
He can make. I think he can make them because he can shoot the ball decently from like the free throw line on.
Yep.
So I think he can make them if you give him.
Yeah, for sure. He got a good form, very good release. So hopefully they put him in better situations. And I think, Monty Williams sees all this and he's probably like, okay, let's find different ways to integrate our big guy into the offense. And it's a good problem to have. This team is not at all at a lack of talent. That's one thing that's not an issue with the Suns is the point that they don't have any talent at all. There's a bunch of talent here. And I think they have like every chance in the world to make another super, super deep run. And yes, I think they can compete up there with the Lakers or compete up there against who are the other elite teams right now in the Western Conference, the Warriors or whatever.
Warriors,
yeah. Nuggets.
It's probably 3 or 4 teams that you can only really take that serious. Because the Nuggets, I'm on like the fence about because I just want to see Michael Porter Jr. in that role, see how he plays. So there's really 3 teams for me. It's Jazz, Suns, and Lakers. I mean, Jazz, Suns, Lakers, and Warriors. So 4 teams really.
Yep. I want to get y'all reaction because I mentioned the stat. I mentioned the contract, and I just want to get you guys' reaction to it. So I mentioned it earlier, and I just want you guys to just give me your thoughts on it. What did you think of the point that SGA is paid as much as Trae Young? Was that something is that an eyebrow raiser? Because I just saw it today. I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on it.
I know for Yazoo it's probably not, but for me, it probably is. I don't know. Like, is he how many points? I think he averaged like above like 20 last year.
He made was he plus 20 last year, Blake?
I think so.
He was. If he was, it was like 21.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can check it, but I'm almost pretty sure he's not
24.
Like
24.
20. Okay, yeah, I was wrong. 24 points. But it's just when I see him play, I don't know. SGA
is cold. Yeah.
Cold, but his jump shot is what gets me. I don't like the way it looks, but
yeah.
Cold, though.
SGA last year was 24 points, 51%, 42%, 6 assists. Yeah, he's worth the max. And you think about it too.
Yeah,
you think about it too. Also, like he's been in the playoffs like last season was his first time not being in the playoffs. He's in the playoffs that first year with the Clippers, then they moved him, and he was in the playoffs that second year with OKC when that team was like totally counted out. Like the odds were like totally against him, and they almost got out of the first round against the Rockets. So I saw it. I want to get you guys' thoughts on it. Blake, do you see like is that like an eyebrow raiser for you when you look at the point that Trey and SGA are making the same amount?
Not for real. Honestly.
Okay.
I really didn't think another.
Yeah. I think me and you are big SGA fans here. I think SGA is like.
Yeah, I've never been like he cold. I know that he averaged 24 points, but his game for me is just too slow. Like sometimes I be telling him to go, bro. Like what you just I don't know. I might be tripping.
Yeah, he go at his own pace.
He go at his own pace. That's the thing. He's old school. He's really old school. Here's another dude that Cleveland. He's in Cleveland, obviously, and we haven't spent a bunch of time talking about him, but they didn't come to almost same situation. They didn't come to an agreement as far as the extension on his rookie contract, but Collin Sexton. It seems like and they didn't come to that agreement. So it seems like everything with Collin Sexton is like weird. Like he does so many great things, but then people still hate him. Not even gonna say people, but I think the media has like a thing out for him because remember the stuff. Not even the media, but that first year, I don't know if you remember his rookie season, there was a rumor coming out that his teammates didn't like him and they thought he didn't know how to play basketball and all of that. That's when there was like it was kind of that, there was a lot of overflow from that Cavs team when LeBron was there. And then just recently, this shit was fake to me. There was an article that came out and some anonymous idiot said, Collin Sexton is like a bad teammate. He's selfish. Something like that. He's a bad teammate, and his teammates can't stand him, or something like that. What's this agenda against Collin Sexton? I just don't get it. Like I feel like
it's not. That's why I hate
he's
about anonymous.
He's the best player they could.
Yeah,
he is. That's why I hate about anonymous.
Yeah,
that release stuff. Like I feel like it's made up. I feel like honestly, it's not even anonymous. I feel like somebody's just pushing that and just putting anonymous on it. That's what I feel like sports do. Yeah, that's NFL, MLB. They say NBA. They say anonymous GM says Collin Sexton can't play basketball. I just feel like a sports media writer writes that and puts it out there. Honestly, that's just me.
Because I'm like, where the hell is that coming from? Like, who's saying this type of shit? Even if it's some dude who's making
an idiot, that's who's saying it.
This is where sports media has to be careful because a lot of those commentators don't understand like. When they say certain stuff, bro, like it totally can control the narrative of a certain guy, and it almost becomes like defamatory. You know what I'm saying? So it's ridiculous. So like the narrative about sex, like if you're just a casual, right, and you just watch, you'll probably think, oh, Collin Sexton's a selfish player. But when you watch the games, you're like, this dude's efficient. He wants to win. He's competitive as hell.
He gritty.
Yeah, he's greedy. Like, what's the issue with him? But I don't get it. There's not much about his game. I mean, he's not a perfect player, but as far as a shorter scoring-minded guard, he's very efficient. Like the last couple of years, the efficiency's been there. The scoring's been there. I think defensively he puts in an effort. Playmaking isn't his specialty. It wasn't something he was great at really since high school, but that's why Darius Garland is there. So that's almost like a ridiculous criticism to have for him. It's like you have a true point guard right next to you, and you guys are known to be like this future really, really good backcourt. I just don't get what the issue is with him, but it seems like Cleveland isn't really that committed to him either, because remember, there were rumors that Cleveland was going to try to trade him to move up in the draft or go wherever direction they wanted to in the draft. So to me, it's just strange how good this dude has been and how committed he's been to like just getting better as a player, and also just how much talent they have to build around him, and how it seems like, I don't know, it seems like there's just not both parties just don't see eye to eye. Or maybe he sees it, but Cleveland doesn't. And for whatever reason, Cleveland doesn't see it. I have no idea. So I don't know what that's about.
Cleveland might feel, I guess they might feel that way because of all the damn losing they did.
Yeah,
they're starting to feel. So they're starting to be like, dang, is Darius Garland really the right dude? Is Collin Sexton? I don't know. When you lose like that, bro, it's a lot of options that's open.
And it's also like that's true, because when the team does lose and when the team is bad, some dude, we're gonna like just totally, the media will overreact to some dude. Like, okay, Andrew Wiggins isn't perfect, but people act like Andrew Wiggins ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that.
He's still a sub 20 player, 20 points per game, like 18, between 17 and 20.
But
I will say this though, he should be averaging more points.
Okay, that's true.
Because right after he went to Kansas, I remember he went to Kansas, University of Kansas. He was coming out of college. I'm like, man, LeBron about to retire. That's gonna be my next favorite player. So when he got traded to the Timberwolves, I bought an Andrew Wiggins Timberwolves jersey, and I wish I wouldn't have bought it.
I don't know. That's true.
but he be balling, but I just feel like the talent level he got, he should be averaging 27 points, bro.
That's true. That's true. But I feel like the narrative about him was so negative. It was like, are y'all like serious? Like even like almost with D'Angelo Russell. Now there was he was immature, but he was a rookie in LA. You know what I'm saying? But like I feel like
he snitched.
He did snitch. But I feel like there is still like, I just feel like people are still like uneasy to, like when I say D'Angelo Russell, I remember saying make a trade for D'Angelo Russell, like the Sixers should like include him in a package. They're like, hell no. I'm like, D'Angelo Russell's like an all-star one year. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when they create a narrative about a certain guy, and like I said, the narrative not always going to end up being true. It just totally does just fucks up their reputation. And to me, that's really bad to see. And I think that's the situation Sexton's in right now. Now, the fans, I don't think the fans are buying into it. You know, we're not buying into it. We're all big Collin Sexton fans here. So we're not buying into it. The fans and Twitter aren't, because everybody looks at his numbers and looks at his, competitiveness. I mean, you even think about, remember they beat the Nets during the regular season last year. And I think there was something, he came out to Kyrie or something like that. He said something like, y'all in trouble or something like that. Now, obviously the rest of the season they sucked, but you just love the confidence and the willingness to go out there and compete. So I don't know why there's this level of uncertainty between the Cavs front office about moving forward with Sexton. That's just what it seems like it is. And I'm not sure what the issue is. He's not a perfect player, but he's a young scoring-minded guard. Give him time to develop. Y'all just picked up Larry Markkinen and want to plug him into an offense with 3 other big men, and y'all want to go scapegoat Collin Sexton. Like, it's just ridiculous to me, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. He's
stupid.
Yeah, it just shows you Cleveland in general. Well, I don't want to talk about Cleveland in general because the Browns.
Talk about Cleveland, Carl.
I don't want to be scanned, but Cleveland in general needs.
They know what they've done.
They probably, sports-wise, bro, they probably consistently the worst sports. I don't want to say that. They fans. I like they fans, but I'm just saying as winning as a whole, as a sports city, they suck.
They fans are
horrible.
What I text you,
though. I said they loyal.
What I text you last night, I said the whole Cleveland economy.
The Cleveland economy after LeBron left, we went down the toilet. That's sad.
That's rough. But they have a loyal fan base, and like I said, I don't think they're buying into the Collin Sexton BS.
There's too much else going on in there for them.
Yeah, but then I'll say this though. As far as a rebuilding team goes, they've got a lot of stuff to look forward to. Like Evan Mobley's there, and I think Evan Mobley over the last couple of weeks, so I really looked at him in the preseason. He's becoming my favorite for Rookie of the Year, actually. You have Darius Garland there, so there's a lot to be excited about if you're Cleveland. But I think you still make the Sexton thing work. There's just nothing pointing at Collin Sexton just not working there, but it seems as if Cleveland just doesn't want to hold on to him. So we'll see how it turns out. But as I said before, it's pretty disappointing. Hopefully they work something out, and it could be a similar situation where he ends up going berserk again this year. Maybe he gets over 25 a game and the efficiency continues, and maybe he improves as a playmaker or whatever. They're not going to be good, but maybe they get some more faith in that young core they have. And finally, they decide to break open the bank for him, next summer, which he is going into as a restricted free agent. Or I think
they could be decent this year. I wouldn't put it past him to be at least be good.
Yeah.
Because they started a lot, but they started 6. Remember they started 6-1 or something last year, and people were like, they're gonna make a play. I'm like, no, they're not.
I stopped.
They have a better chance. I give them this. They have a better chance this year. So.
They do. They have a pretty solid team this year.
I thought he was about to say something else.
But I'll say this though. I stopped believing in like those early like hot starts. I don't know if y'all remember, but I think Philly in 2013. What year did they have Michael Carter Williams as the Rookie of the Year? Was it 2014?
2013.
2014 they got off to like a really good start, and I remember people were like, "Oh my God, they're gonna be," and they just sucked the rest of the year up until
Michael Carter Williams. He was one of them dudes like he used to be flirting with triple doubles and quadruple doubles.
Mm-hmm. He almost had one He almost had one against Miami. That one game.
He was like, I think he was like 2 rebounds short or 2 steals short or something like that. Something crazy.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Sexton is just. I don't get the disrespect that the elites have towards Collin Sexton, because, like I said, it's just not. It's not like, Mr. Simmons, where, I don't want to say his full name because I feel like YouTube's going to flag us for mentioning his name too many times.
Just say Benjamin.
Benjamin. But it's not like them where everybody agrees. It's actually the inverse of it. I think the media is kind of like, well, let's take a chance on Ben Simmons. He's still this and all of that. And the people are like, nah, get a jump shot. Now with Sexton, the people love him, but then the media and the elites are trying to like kill him or whatever. I don't know what it's about. It's weird as hell. But hopefully they come to some type of agreement. Hopefully we kind of see, more growth from the Sexton and Darius Garland backcourt, because I'm really excited to see what they have to offer as things move forward. And like I said, they got a talented team. A very talented young team. Mobley, Markin is there, and he looked pretty good in the preseason. So yeah, man, I think they're not going to make anything. They're not going to make the playoffs or whatever. Nothing. But yeah, said nothing. But they're not going to make the playoffs or anything. But Carl, would you tune in if they were like on NBA TV? Would you watch them?
If the TV just so happens to be on there,
yeah.
I'm not gonna turn it off, but I ain't.
Why would you ask that question?
I'm not gonna be 100 for Cavs game on. Let me turn to it. No, I'm not.
I check them out a couple times.
I only watch because I really only watched a handful of like bottom teams. Like I watch the Kings, I watch the Pacers.
They're not.
Yeah, we different. I've never watched a full Kings game in my life.
I would never. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I watched the Kings game.
Not a full Kings game. I don't even know if like a lot of them games. I don't know if we fully watch, especially they blowout. Like, why am I watching it after it's a blowout? But yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Or do they even have that many primetime games? They probably got one out of 8.
Nah, they ain't there. Them boys on Fox Sports Cleveland every night.
Yeah, they got one primetime game. It's at 5 o'clock where everybody's still at work.
The city of Cleveland still working while they playing.
Yep. Oh, you see that game? No, I was at work.
No, I was at work. Oh, we played yesterday.
We lost by 30, but we played.
Yeah, that's the norm.
They'll be. I wouldn't be surprised if they made. Or something.
Yeah, they're not like a laughing stock at all. Like they're gonna be. They have
a lot of talent. Let me ask you this: because video, Ty, know I'm talking about. Video surfaced like 2 days ago with the Magic, and they're practicing how they practice.
Oh my god!
They were playing with a yoga ball.
That's my type of practice right there.
Yeah, that explains why they record. That explains why they might be 1-82 playing practicing like that.
I need to. That's a good practice right there.
That was hella funny. That was hella funny.
It's a good practice for certain activities, but if you who do you think has the most talent, Cleveland or the Magic?
Between those two, I remember I said, man.
Don't make this harder than it needs to be, Ty. That's a
good question.
But it's tough because just look at John Isaac when he's back. People are very high on John Isaac. There's Mo Bamba, who looks really, really good. Like he looked great in the preseason. There's Cole Anthony, obviously. There's wait for Markelle Fultz to come back. There's RJ Hampton. So there's Franz Wagner. There's hella talent in Orlando. I may go with Cleveland.
I don't know why Blake laughing. They got.
I may go with Cleveland.
He said Mo Bamba. I'm thinking of that dude in my head.
Oh, you thinking of the song?
I'm thinking of him. I don't.
Mo Bamba now. If I saw some good stuff in the preseason, I don't believe in him no more. I probably.
But he showed stuff last year though. He showed some good stuff last year.
I thought he was gonna be a better player because he disappointed me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. That song kind of. Even when he was at Texas, I was like,
that song messed him up.
Yeah, that song kind of messed him up.
I bet you we get a major breakout year from Mo Bamba because he showed great stuff last year as well. So
how many points?
I think because the thing is he going to start because there's Wendell Carter there?
No, he started.
Yeah, he has the talent to start. He's talented as hell. That's
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He should be able to average 15 points in the league.
I'd say he should average about 38.
38?
Yeah, 38.
Are you joking? I was like,
every 60 minutes.
Yeah, that's what what's that stat like per 48 minutes?
Look, Steph they didn't did this with Steph last year. Steph averaged 40 points per 35 minutes or something. 60 minutes.
And they know they're tricking people because no one's going to read past the 40 points a game. So you go to the barbershop, you say, oh, Curry averaged 40, and you're going to look stupid because ESPN tricked you or whatever. I mean, that's a good question as far as Cleveland and Orlando, who's more talented. Orlando's got a lot of talent, but I think I'm more confident in the development of Cleveland's talent right now because, there's still things to be seen like RJ Hampton. We still have to kind of wait a little bit. As we mentioned, I'm high on Mo Bamba, but we still have to see some things from him. Same with Jalen Suggs. Like, how's he gonna, fit in his first year? Because they have a lot of guards there. So we'll see what happens with them. But I'm excited to see what they got to offer this season.
I'm gonna pick the Magic simply because I like Cole Anthony more than Collin Sexton. That's just me.
So, but I don't know.
That's just me. I know he's been in the league a couple more years than he has. I would take him.
Don't keep that to yourself.
Because Sexton's already.
That's not that crazy.
That's pretty crazy. Sexton's already like he's an efficient 20+ every night.
Come on now, my boy. He went to UNC, and the other dude went to Alabama. This couple years, he won't be that good. But
yeah. So like I said, I want to see stuff work out with Sexton because he just has way too much talent, and there's just nothing indicating at. Like, I just don't get what the negativity about him is. And like I said, it's all coming from the elite, the media and the analysts and whatever BS journalist that was who put that report out a couple days ago. That Larry Nance.
Skip Bayless.
You think it was Skip Bayless? I don't think Skip's watching too many Cavs games. No. But whoever put that out, you're full of it. Honestly, I wanted to cuss, but I cussed already. I think I hit my cuss limit for this episode. But bro.
You only said like 3 words. You should be good.
Yeah. I think I said the 3 really bad ones though. I think I said the 3 really bad ones.
Yeah, I don't know. Your mama might be on you.
Yeah, she was on me that first episode. Oh my god. Okay. We also had Jaren Jackson. He got $105 million over 4 years, which comes out to, let's do the math real quick. 105 divided by 4 comes out to basically $26 million a year. Is that accurate? Let me make sure I did it right. Jaren Jackson contract.
You did.
Okay, so are we satisfied with the amount?
Yeah.
I
don't mind it.
Yeah, because I think he's better. He's better than Mikal Bridges to me.
Yeah. It's 105. Okay, it's 105 or 4. Let me make sure I did this right because I feel like my math is screwed up. Yeah, 26. So yeah, and I think, we did this. I was going to do a little segment. We kind of talked about players we wanted to see break out the most this season, but he's one of those dudes. The talent is there. He's a guy who's a really, really good defender. I think he's averaged like just a little bit over a block for the entirety of his career. Great shooter, one of the better stretch fours in the NBA. His form got better. We saw it with the preseason, and we talked about a couple episodes ago. I think I said like his shot was like a push shot, like a fourth grader, was shooting, but it goes in, and he still changed his form up, and he looks like he got a little bit bigger, like broader in the shoulders or whatever. And I think it's going to be a great season for him, especially when he's healthy. A lot of what we saw from the first couple of years in his career, was an incline and then a short decline because of obviously the point that he played like 11 games last season. So he should be great. He's another major sleeper for most improved. That's what the GMs voted. They voted him as the guy. Is that accurate? They voted him as the guy most likely to have a big like breakout year or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Before we get to the Memphis, I just thought about, because we were talking about Cleveland. This is my bad. What are they going to do with Kevin Love?
Keep him there. I think they're going to run his contract down.
They tried to get rid of him. They tried to get rid of him. He said, "I want that money."
If it's not a buyout, they're just going to run his contract down. I think that's what's going to end up happening. Like, just
that man wants to get paid, and I don't blame.
He's a broken down shell.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, no, like with back to Jaren Jackson, like this should be a year where he comes out and breaks out, and I always feel like Ja's really never had that Robin to his Batman. Dylan Brooks, you can say he is, but Jackson's talent is just too much for him not to be like a second best player on that Grizzlies team. You know what I mean? So we should see a big year from Jaren Jackson. I think this could be a season where he averages 20 or more. I think they're going to need that from him, in order to be a better offensive team than what they've been the last couple of years. Last couple of years, they've just been okay. Their best player hasn't averaged over 18 a game for his career, or he hasn't averaged 20 yet, and is still trying to establish himself as a shooter and, establish his ability to score on a consistent basis. So I think his production is going to be very important if Memphis wants to kind of take things to the next level. Like they've just been kind of a playoff team, borderline playoff team the last couple of years under Ja, or with Ja as their starting point guard and as their best player. Granted, they have time. Like, I don't want to talk about them as if it's like they're not Utah where you just have to win. Utah kind of just has to win. The Grizzlies have time to develop, but we want to see something different from a team every single season. And so for them, we kind of want to see them get over that hump of just being good enough to squeak into the playoffs. We want to see them be consistent throughout the entire 82-game season. We want to see them make some noise in the playoffs a little more than what they did last year. So, and a lot of that's going to be relying upon, Jaren Jackson's production.
Yeah. Hopefully they can turn back the clock and go to that type of Memphis Grizzlies team with Marc Gasol, Zach Randolph, and Mike Conley.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, somewhere down the line they can go back to that type of competitive like team.
And then some of that is there, like there's some of that is there. Like there's the defense, but like as you said, like you have to match it, like because the Grizzlies had an offensive attack, in those days. They have an offensive attack now, but it's not super consistent. Dillon Brooks. I love Dillon Brooks in this game. I know Carl doesn't. I love Dillon Brooks' game, but I think he's still.
I like him.
He's a good defender and he's a solid scorer, but he has to establish himself as a more efficient, player and all of that.
You didn't like him.
Huh? No, I
thought you didn't like him.
No, I just be playing. He cool.
Yeah. And as he has to get a little smarter defensively too. I think he's a great one-on-one defender, but he's got to stop fouling so much. That's a major issue with him. But like I said,
per game.
Yeah, he fouls the shit out of people. Which could be detrimental if you're trying to make a run in the playoffs, obviously, but yeah. But I mean, like I said, this team's not in any rush. They shouldn't feel like they're in any rush. They made some solid additions. Their bench looks pretty solid. Isaiah Melton. What do they call him? Mr. Do Something, Blake? Is that his nickname? Is it Mr. Do Something? Mr. Isaiah Melton? Not Isaiah Melton.
Isaiah Melton.
Isaiah Melton, the kid we went to high school with.
I was like, hold up. That's not his name.
I know, because I'm looking at Carl. I'm thinking if he kept, I'm making sure Carl caught on. I'm looking like
I said Isaiah Melton.
I'm thinking Isaiah from CBC. De'Anthony Melton. Isaiah Melton's the kid we went to high school with. De'Anthony Melton. Yeah.
You better keep that in there.
I'm keeping it in there. But yeah, no, like even him, like I think he's going to be in for big year. There's a bunch of talent on this team, and Brandon Clark is a guy people kind of stopped talking about Brandon Clark last season. Yeah. Kyle Anderson, slow-mo, there's talent there. It's a matter of just establishing a better offensive attack. And I mean, it can be internal. It doesn't always have to go out and get a guy. Ja just has to grow his game. We saw a little bit of his pull-up jumper off of, pick and rolls with Steven Adams. We saw that in the preseason. We want to be able to see him knock down shots, whether it's off the catch or off the dribble, because Lord knows he can't shoot right now.
No, he can't.
Yeah, like people are comfortable as hell going under the screen against Ja. Even, let's say he has like 3 straight threes, people are still going to go under the screen on him, and then let him shoot it. So, and like I said, Jaren Jackson, he's got to be able to take that leap. So a lot of what we want to see from them can happen from an internal standpoint. There's not a lack of talent there, but they have time, But as I said, a lot of stuff, their success moving forward is really going to be contingent upon Ja's growth offensively and Jaren Jackson, if he can kind of jump into that consistent second option and be like a borderline all-star player. Like I think he's a dude who can put up all-star caliber numbers. He may not be voted in as one, but he can put up those types like a Tobias Harris. Like Tobias Harris puts up all-star-esque numbers. He's just not an all-star. I think Jaren Jackson kind of get, into that category at some point in his career. So
I kind of like a this may be a weird pairing, but Collin Sexton, if he chooses to leave, kind of like him in Memphis too, just as another scorer. Something that they need. You got enough. You got defense, but you need some.
They do need like a gritty scorer.
Yeah.
You need somebody to go get you a bucket.
That'd be a weird fit, but I think it'll be cool to watch though. Ja and Collin, oh my God, that'd be something to watch. And they could pay him too. They can pay him a lot. I mean,
they can pay him.
Granted, Cleveland can too. Like that. Like there's no way they're like Cleveland. Well, never mind. I can't say that because as I just said, they seem to want to let that dude go. So yeah,
I'm all for it. Please let him go somewhere else where he can.
Yeah, I want to see a dude stay where he's not appreciated. Yeah, hell yeah, that's true as hell.
That's depressing.
Yeah, that is sad. That's very sad. Carmi, what were your thoughts? Do you have anything else you want to say about Jaren Jackson this season? Like, what are your expectations for him this year?
I've thought about it this morning for real. I think he can get like most improved if he probably averages like 22 points. I think he can average 22 points.
Without a doubt.
22 points. He's a stretch forward. He can block, like you said, he's over his career. He's in 3 years or whatever. He's average a block and some change. Block what 1.2,
1.65, somewhere within that range.
We can round it. We can give him 2.
Yeah, give him 2. Give him 2.
Give 2 blocks a game at that, and he's really not a center technically, but at that height, that's kind of actually impressive because he's not like the tallest, on the court or nothing.
Yeah.
So his skill set is definitely special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sorry. I read a KD. I read a KD. Someone made a KD tweet. I'm gonna send it to you guys after that. I can't repeat it on the show.
I was like, did I say something stupid?
No. Someone made a tweet about KD. I'm gonna send it to y'all later. So yeah. I mean, what were your thoughts? So I think. Did you have anything else you want to say about Jaren Jackson, Blake?
Yeah, that was about it.
Yeah, you think? All right,
you shook your head.
I was like,
I said that was about it. My bad.
Okay, you good. I think that was. I mean, Landry Shamet obviously got a solid extension. Who else got extended? You know what? Who surprised me? I'm not even surprises me, but I'm kind of glad to see. I don't know if I'm glad to see it, but I'm surprised at this point in his career.
Grayson Allen.
That's who I'm about to say. Like, I'm okay. How surprised are you guys that Grayson Allen has actually like etched like a consistent role? Because even when he was in Memphis, he was good as hell. Not as good as hell, but he was like a good off the bench, knock down shots, get to the basket at times, show some athleticism, and like people were kind of writing him off. Like I remember in the summer league, I don't know if you guys remember this, but in the summer league, he just had like a fit. Like he was pushing dudes. I remember the announcer was like,
"Tripping, a lot of kicking, emphasis on kicking."
Yeah, tripping, literally like you can do 2 minutes for that. But like it seemed like in the summer league, I remember seeing him do some stuff in the summer league, and I remember the analyst or the announcer, it was Dan Dockich, who calls college basketball games. He was like saying, "Get him out of the game. There's no place in the league for that type of stuff." So his attitude, he was one of those dudes that you just thought was never going to make it because
that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny. But then now you see him, like I said, in Memphis, he showed some good stuff. It's like off the ball, off the catch shooter. And I mean, it's a short stint, obviously, with Milwaukee, but in the preseason, he showed a lot of great stuff. And I think he had one game, he knocked down a good amount of threes consecutively, just this preseason. And it kind of seems like almost he may have that. He's going to have a consistent role, coming off of the bench and coming into the games, and they're going to ask him to kind of play somewhat of that Dante DiVincenzo, type of role and everything. He may even start, alongside with Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, in that perimeter. So it's not surprised me that he got that amount of money. I think he's making like $10 million off the contract. Not surprised that he's making that much, but I'm surprised he has a role right now.
I think the Bucks is kind of one little replacement for like Forbes, that little shooter that can not little because he's not a little dude, but that shooter that can just knock down shots in the corner.
Yeah.
And
but I mean, Forbes is automatic though, so I don't know how much.
Yeah. Forbes definitely a better shooter than Allen. But I think Allen, gives you some solidity, and I think he gives you also somewhat of what you missed in DiVincenzo. People forget, like Dante DiVincenzo, they were down to, I'm not going to say like it was, I mean, they still had their big three, but Dante DiVincenzo wasn't there for that entire run. He got hurt in the first round. I think in the first game. Was in the first. Yeah.
First game.
It still shocks me his name is Dante. I don't think I ever seen a white Dante, I'll be honest.
There's some white Dantes out there. There's definitely
it is? Okay.
It's actually, Dante is actually it's a foreign name. Dante name.
It might be Italian.
Origin.
Yeah, that sounds
Italian. It's Italian. Yep. It's Italian.
You, Carl, you know your your ancestry.
When it come to names, that's the wrong probably term. But when it come to names, just sound out the end and just see what it sounds like. Like Tay, like that's, I don't know. That's what I do.
You can, I guess.
What about
Devontae?
Yeah, what about that?
is that
no? That's something I can't say on this blessing. That's yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad he's able. You always like seeing guys grow. Like him in college. I think people like after college when he was at Duke, no matter how good of a team they were, it was almost like this dude just almost. It's going to be tough for him to like make it in the league just with his attitude and with how he carries himself. And so to see him grow, from an attitude standpoint and all of that is great, and he's got to keep it going. This team expects to win a title. This isn't Memphis where they're expecting to be okay the next couple of years. The Bucks expect to win a title again, just like they did this or last season. So you're going to play a big part of that. You can't be out there getting texts at the times you don't need to be getting texts. You're out there to play defense and knock down shots. And hopefully his maturity holds up at this point. But I'm excited to see if he's able to just make this thing work, with this team. Because like I said, the situation, you really don't have a lot of room to just screw up. They like when you're on a defending championship team, they want to go in there and win. They want to go in there and get that feeling back that they had the season before when they won a ring. So that's what it's all about. And it's great to see a guy like him just get a role for himself, and hopefully he just continues to build off of it. Were there any other like things you guys want to talk about as far as contract extensions or anything goes? I don't think there were too many other.
We covered everybody that got a.
Yeah. I think
they got an extension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The crazy thing about defending champs, bro, if you really look at the roster, it's never the same from the championship.
Yeah.
It's always them 2 or 3 role players that end up signing somewhere else. Like, I thought they was going to keep PJ Tucker. I still don't understand that. Because him and Giannis, bro, like, real close.
Yeah.
Get that.
Was Tucker left in free agency, or was he traded?
Yeah, he went to the Heat.
He left him. He went to Miami.
Same with Rondo with y'all. I mean, obviously he ended up coming back, but he left agency.
He went around the world just to come back.
He sure did. Just come back. He sure did.
To the losing team.
Yeah, man. There's that. I also want to do this because obviously opening week is this week, and we have a great slate of games, and I want to get you guys predictions. Let me pull up the NBA schedule here. Give me your winners for each of these key opening night matchups. I know opening night matchups, but opening week matchups. We got Nets Bucks in Milwaukee for game 1, live on TNT. Carl, who you got?
Give me the Nets. I got KD putting up 35.
Okay. Hopefully we get hopefully they guard each other. Hopefully at least Giannis guards KD. He was ducking KD last year.
Dude said I'm gonna guard him and didn't guard him.
Didn't guard him at all.
I can't blame him. Who wants to guard KD?
Right. They put PJ Tucker on him. Blake, who you got? Who you got for your pick?
It's in Milwaukee.
Yep.
I got the Bucks.
All right, I got the Bucks too.
Bucks. It's gonna be close though.
On ring night too. Got to think about that, Carl's ring night.
I got the Bucks, man. KD mad they beat him. He gonna come out just shooting everything. Watch.
Okay. We got Warriors Lakers.
I'm bricking too. We got the bricks.
We got Warriors Lakers here, Carl. Who you got?
We gonna go 76-6, but we gonna go 76-6. But I got us winning this game. By 15. Y'all are down a couple role players too, so just keep that in mind. We got Avery Bradley. We got him back today.
Yeah, you sure did get him back today, didn't you?
I feel like every day is somebody added to their team.
They got to be over the player limit, bro.
They do, bro. It's like 18 players on the damn team.
They got to be. They
got a whole Bible study on their team.
They do. The whole church. Who's your pick? Who's your pick? Warriors, Lakers, Blake.
Obviously the Warriors. You'd have to ask me that.
Is it easy? Is it like it easily go?
That's very easy.
Damn.
Is it in LA? It's in LA, right?
It's in LA.
Oh yeah, that's easy for us.
California is California. It ain't nothing but a little road trip.
It's true. I'll go Lakers. I said Warriors yesterday. I'll go Lakers. Let's go Celtics Knicks at Madison Square Garden.
You got Russ shooting though. I don't know. I'm thinking about. I forgot. We got Russ now. I don't know if we're gonna be able to make some jumpers. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, I think we can work.
Who you say, Nick? You say who else?
I said Celtics Knicks on Wednesday in Madison Square Garden.
Give me Celtics.
Okay. Blake?
Knicks.
Okay. I'm gonna.
You know what? Yeah, give me the Celtics.
Give me the Celtics too, but I think the Knicks are gonna make it fun to watch. It's Kimba.
It'll be close. It'll be very close.
Be very close game. Very close. The Knicks have a very good team this year. Then we're gonna go Nuggets versus Suns. In Phoenix.
Yeah, Suns.
You got Suns?
Yeah.
Chicken. Give me chicken nuggets. Give me the nuggets.
You going Sun? Oh, you going with the Nuggets for real?
Yeah, chicken nuggets. Give me the nuggets, man.
What if Deandre Ayton just gets mad? Y'all ain't paid me. Just walks off the court. Like, what if that happens?
With his towel in his neck and just walk out of the locker room.
Then we have Thursday, Bucks Heat. This is going to be a fun one. Hopefully, we get a better edition of this
Bucks
round. Blake, you said Bucks. You going with the Bucks?
Bucks. Where they? Milwaukee still?
No, they're in Miami.
Miami. Well, the Bucks going to be 2-0.
Okay.
I got them being 0-2. Give me the Heat.
I'll go with the Bucks. I'll go with the Bucks.
Buck hater.
I was rooting for them to beat the Nets in the playoffs.
We go Clippers.
Yeah, you don't like KD. That's why.
No.
We go Clippers Warriors. We're in Golden State. This one may be, yeah. I mean, are we all going with Golden State here?
Warriors 2-0.
About 20.
Okay.
20, blow them out.
Yep. We're going
100.
Let me make sure I got the Friday matchup right. I'm gonna go pick a couple games for Friday because I'm not sure. But Raptors Celtics in Boston is a game that's going on Friday. This is a fun one.
Celtics 2-0.
You guys are going with the Celtics?
Yeah.
I'll go with the Celtics winning at home. Then we've got Nets Sixers. Now there's no certainty right now about if who's going to end up playing. Do you think? Let's assume he doesn't play. Is there any way Philly? I mean, it's one game. It's overnight. So is that? Do you guys?
It can happen. It can definitely.
But who's your pick? Like, is it Brooklyn?
No, I'm picking the Sixers by like a point.
Carl's going with the upsets today. Are you going with? Are you going Brooklyn or Philly? Who are you going with, Blake?
Brooklyn.
Okay, I'm going Brooklyn as well. But
Brooklyn by about 40.
He acting like it's NFL football and the bad teams.
Yeah,
ain't gonna. It's one game.
Yeah.
Brooklyn by 40.
Oh, okay.
Then we've got the Friday night finale. We've got a rematch. We've got Suns Lakers rematch at the conference first round, Western Conference first round. Who you got, Blake?
Suns 2-0.
Okay.
Suns by about 100.
Be realistic. What's your actual margin?
Russ going 3 for 34.
Be realistic though. What's your actual margin? Like as far as like
about like 3.
Okay. We got some close games here. What about you, Carl?
Lakers by 15.
Okay.
We gonna shut Devin Booker down. He gonna shoot about 3 for 15.
Damn,
Chris Paul gonna have a good game. He actually gonna have like 25 and 10 assists, but it don't matter with all the talent we got now.
Y'all be so bold with y'all stat predictions. This dude said 3 for 15 for Devin Booker. He only gonna hit 3 shots and take 15.
Yeah, they all gonna be free throws.
Oh, okay. I'm going with I'll go with Suns here.
Hey, bro, come on.
I put him up
by 5 through the screen, John.
I put him up by 5. So I'm gonna leave you hanging. On that one. That's who we've got. That's what we got for you guys today. We're gonna be back.
Wait, hold on. Who your Wizards play?
Oh yeah, who do we play? Let me go give it a check. I think we get the Pacers. We get the Pacers.
Since you want to say we go lose, I got the Pacers going y'all out there.
On the phone. Hey, that's the toilet.
But that's gonna be a good game though.
It's gonna be a decent game. It's gonna be a pretty decent game. Yeah.
It don't matter if you lose, but it's gonna be a good game.
Hey, Carl, that's the toilet bowl right there, bro.
No, that's a good game, bro. I think that's a good game.
Yeah.
He said toilet bowl. I just got what he said.
So that's what we got for you guys. We're going to be back on Friday, and we're going to react to basically all of these games that happen. It's going to be a ton. They're going to come at us like this, so we're just going to be ready to react to them all. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. Help get us to 200 subscribers, that is. Keep downloading us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and follow us on our socials. Follow us on IG, Twitter, and Snapchat, and we'll see you guys next episode.
Yeah, tell Blake stop dancing.